Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depends the part of the world we are. I am Mazichika Austin, and of course it's your turn. And once again, I want to bless Chukwuka Biama Premi Henine, who has, been seeing us through, who has been on our side in this moment, this time of really global disturbance. At this moment, it looks people are panicking, at the height of panics, at the height of various conspiracy theories, at the height of international disturbances. Elohim has been preserving us. To him alone be glorified, because he has been so kind to us. Without him, we would have been ruined, we would have been wrecked down as a people, and he has been seeing us through. Before I go for the day's discussions we are going to have today, it's better I confirm if I'm coming loud from your own end, if you are receiving me loud and clear, and if that is done, then if that is confirmed, then we move ahead to talk about this issue at hand, looking at the hypocrisy of Nigerians, and of course the projectors or campaigners for New World Order. What have they indeed tried to achieve? What have they been able to achieve? Okay, thank you. Ms. Ebunuju from Germany, thank you so much. Good morning from here also. Yes, we must move ahead. Anyway, we are not going to talk much on the hypocrisy of Nigerians, but what I want to say within a very short period of time is that you can see everybody is making short video, everybody is coming on internet to talk, everyone is trying to cry. Some are saying, give us light. There is no light, there is no light, there is no light, there is no light. We are dying on heat and all this. People are complaining, oh, there is no facilities in the hospitals, there is no hospital to attend to this, that. And I ask a question. When we in IPOB, we are making a point to them that in as much as this country remains warm, those things you call facilities, those dreams of yours can never be realizable. Some people took it as an insult. Some people, out of stupidity and suspension of their brains, decided to defend an indefensible cause. And we say, okay, there's no problem. Time will tell. Just less than 2 months of coronavirus announcements in Nigeria, everything shows that Nigeria is never a country in the first place. It's not even a human inhabitation, how much more a country. It now got to these hypocrites, self-deceivers, and above all, psychophants, that what they were trying to sound, or the position they were trying to make, which is political correctness, was the worst disservice they have given to themselves, to their children, and to generation unborn. Because in as much as you keep on defending the worst entity, more deplorable than the zoo, in as much as hypocritically you are trying to defend force unity in quotes or geographical expression called Nigeria, you will keep on bleeding. No two ways about it. One perfect thing, one good thing with nature is that nature does not excuse you on your ignorance. When you're supposed to speak, you say you're not going to speak. You will live to suffer it. So all these Nollywood actors and actresses disturbing the social media, disturbing the internet spaces, shouting, no light, this, that. Man, you're realizing that too late. Because assuming these kinds, and surprisingly and disheartening, all of them are from southern Nigeria. If they are not from the Oduduwa, they are from Biafran part. Who stood, who wanted to sound politically correct. And today, the first entity they looked upon is not failing them. And that is a message to each and every one of us. Each and every one of us. I think the argument that we should allow United Nigeria because of the vastness, we have now understood that, in fact, it looks as if vastness is even a curse. Rwanda, that is small, is doing effectively well. Ghana is doing effectively well on combating COVID-19. And smaller countries are doing exceptionally well. It's only Nigeria that is lagging behind, moving around begging even, face mask, when those in Aba can produce it to the generality of Nigerians. But because out of their own evil, out of their own wickedness, they kill the spirit of small and medium scale enterprise in Aba, and today is affecting them. One good thing with karma is that karma is a bitch. It's not a respecter of anyone. And it's a powerful law of nature. So whatever a man sows, he reaps. When they were busy destroying the spirit of enterprising, the spirit of small and medium scale enterprise in southeast, in Biafra land, they never knew a day like this would come. When they were busy carrying all forms of campaigns against those Biafrans in pharmaceutical industries, they never knew a day like this would come. When they were busy making sure they ruin the spirit of manufacturing in Aba, in Onitsha, in Nnewi, and all the rest of them, they never knew a day like this will come. When they were busy attacking all our manufacturers, they never knew a day like this will come. And behold, it's before them. And one amazing thing about this is that, sorry, I think the light will, that is what we are complaining, but I believe the light will push back soon, as soon as possible. Sorry. That is the country we find ourselves. So here is not getting done on those who hypocritically stood. This is not their public light to this gen, so that you won't say, it came back so left, and it might be coming back maybe 2 hours. This one is just generator, private source, so that you don't say, it came back quick. Oh. They have taken it and they have taken it. That is them expert in taking light. At this critical time, they're asking people to isolate, to quarantine themselves. It's a pity. So we'll move ahead. So what are we trying to say? They are now, everyone is now suffering the effect of wickedness or wicked policies melted, targeted at a people. Yes, the ventilators they are begging an American billionaire is something. If they had encouraged the spirit of manufacturing and industrialization that is naturally springing out from Biafra land, by now, what is the ventilators? It could have been, you know, it could have been supplied to them. Not just only in Austin, would have a lot of manufacturing, ventilators manufacturing presence all over Biafra land. And that would have been supplied to them. But because somebody believed that these guys who are highly enterprising, these guys who are well doing, these guys who naturally have the spirit of healthy competitions should be, you know, niced into the corner. And today you can see everyone, I mean everyone, is not suffering it. So that is, by the way, congratulations to them, to these stupid guys who are coming on social media to complain no electricity, no health facility, no this, no that. When you kept quiet over an eve, somebody said, when you fail to kill a snake, it grows to a python. And when it grows to a python, it turns out a threat to you. And that's exactly what each and every one of us have done. We have tolerated, we gave appraisal, pampering to a system created by Britain to terminate us, to erase us, the generality of the inhabitants in this part of the world. Whether you are an Hausa-man, whether you say your belt is on the middle, whether you are an Oduduwa man, whether you're a Biafra man, the truth remains that there is a consensus agreement. We have a common agreement to the fact that Nigeria as a country is endemic to our well-being. The British to ruin our lives, not just the Biafran people only, but all the inhabitants of that or of that geographical expression known as Nigeria. And that's where everybody is crying today. So if we should be sincere, we should swallow our stupidity, swallow our pride, swallow our foolishness, and guess what? Campaign vigorously for the end of this worse pandemic than COVID-19. Nigeria is a worse pandemic than COVID-19. If you want me to explain, I will explain to details. So that is, by the way. So let's go to the New World Order and the efforts by some folks to you know, to get the world get the world dance to the system they want the world to dance to. And before I dive into this extensively, I want us to understand that whenever there is crisis like this, whenever there is, you know, panics, it always arise several conspiracy theories. It stirs up. It's a natural thing. It stirs up a lot of storylines that are geared towards conspiracy theories. We all know what I mean by conspiracy theory. There is these narratives, that tend to put people into sorry, Kate said my voice is very low. Okay. I'm sorry for that. Maybe I have to step up a bit. So whenever there is panic like this, whenever there is an outrage, just the way we are seeing it today, it often leads to narratives, that tend to present issues in a way that someone wants to annihilate, terminate, disrupt, obstruct, and of course, stop the progression of humanity. So what am I trying to say? What we want to talk in respect to New World Order, we are going to leverage our discussion on facts. We are going to look at historical facts, we are going to look at political facts, we are going to look at economic facts, and we are going to look at all the necessary facts, if need be. Very, very important. So that we don't just be an alarmist. So that we don't just make a narrative that is geared towards raising a false alarm. Mind you, make no mistake about that. So we are talking about the New World Order. What is the New World Order? What is it all about? Who are the campaigners? Who are the championers? Who actually want the current system to be changed? And for what purpose? How benefit is it to humanity? These are some of the things we are going to, look at this moment within the time frame we have at our disposal. First of all, when we talk about the New World Order, we are looking at it in a simple term or in a simple explanation. It's just about bringing the world under one single government. One single government. And you know what? When the world is brought to one single government, it then means there should be one single economy, one single health system, one single security system, one single financial dealings, one single boundary. And technically, we can as well say it's as simple as globalization. Yes, New World Order could be seen as the most open form of presenting what one government is all about. Why globalization? This is my personal postulation. Why globalization to me? It is a technical and a covert, a clandestine presentation of one world government. I'm going to explain this. I'm going to explain how this project have been working, how it has been. But let me tell us, very, very important, for the sake of those of us who think this project is of today's project. Remember, all these things are not working outside a plan of Christian eschatology. If you study Christian eschatology, which is Christian philosophy, I don't want to say biblical philosophy so that I don't sound more sectional. So I'm using a kind of neutral language here. If you study Christian eschatology, if you study the philosophy of Christians as regards to the beginning, the progress of the world, and the end of the world, how it will end, you will now understand that what you're seeing playing out, which is not of today making, make no mistake about this. Take into heart what I'm saying. If you study what is happening, you will understand that it's not a frightening issue. It shouldn't be a frightening issue if you are really, really knowledgeable about Christian eschatology, if you're really, really knowledgeable about the trend at which it is moving. There is nothing so panicking about it. It's part of a kind of an agreement with the eschatology of the Christian faith. Is equally part of an agreement with humanity evolution. Yes, I think I'm sounding more neutral now. Yes, it is part of the evolution of humanity. I mean evolution of humanity, I mean the trend at which the world evolves, the trend at which the world is moving. So the concept of New World Order, because everybody talks about New World Order, New World Order, New World Order, New World Order, one world government, one world government, as if it's new. It's never new. I'm going to tell you that this concept you see started as far back as 1944, 1945, where it was on the process of, at the end of the Second World War, that the idea of bringing the world together, bringing the world under one single umbrella was initiated. And how did that project saw the light of the day? The birth of United Nations in 1945, which talks about having an individual who speaks why the states, talking about various countries, take order from that, one single individual. That was the concept. That was the political or social, economic stroke political conception of this idea. And yet the idea came up. It was embraced. When the idea was embraced, remember, I'm taking time to dig down to history so that you understand the connectivity, how we got where we are, and where we might likely be in next few years. And before I equally said this, somebody should flash back his mind, because to me personally, this is my personal opinion, everything I think, everything I discuss, I try to connect it to the restoration of the Biafra. Very, very important to me. Very, very essential to me. So if I'm going to end this analysis, I will definitely picture where Biafra falls within the entire gallery, within the entire development. Very, very important. It's much essential to me than any other activities happening around. That is my personal view. So what am I trying to say? From the time of the formation of United Nations, the concept of New World Order was initiated. And it keeps going. But mind you, it would have been so difficult if United Nations was in operation and expect to reach out the world without the help of internet. Could have been so difficult. So the formation of United Nations And the various generational development of internet, talking about 1G, talking about one generation. 1G means one generation. First generation, I mean to say. 2G means second generation of internet. 3G means a third generation. 4G, which we are currently in, fourth generation. Whenever you on your internet, at the internet signal, you see 4G, means we are on the fourth generation of internet usage. And we are advancing to 5th G, or yes, 5th G, which is fifth generation of internet. Remember, it could have been so difficult that the world will be politically united at the front of United Nations without the internet helping out to bring the world. This is not the physical world, but we are not talking about the electronic world, bringing the world, interconnecting the world through the agency of the internet. And that enables the world system to put under one single web, one single fora for quick administration and quick signal decentralizations. So that was how the concept of the one world was initiated, and the internet helped by linking up the entire world. It's not just the world you see in the realm of the physical, but we now have a global world. We now have an internet existing world that is connecting the entire globe, destroying the physical boundaries. You understand me? Destroying the physical, geographical boundaries and creating a boundless, I don't know if that word is correct, but creating a limitless boundaries that everybody can flow easily. And what is it? Take for instance, I'm here and I know too well that Mrs. Uju is in Germany. Some of us are watching from Italy, some of us are watching from elsewhere. But you see, we are now existing in a particular environment. We are now in a particular world, not minding the immigration policy of Germany. I'm reaching out to Germans, not those in Germany anyway, not minding the immigration hurdles of those in United States. I'm reaching out to those in United States. So you now see that there is this transition of the physical world to a world where we can get connected to a single world platform. And at that moment, we can easily be administered. So that is how the whole concept was initiated, through United Nations. I told us, which was a bit political and economic front, and they started thinking about how do they help to destroy the physical boundaries. And they know it's not just easy to go and start destroying the physical boundaries of countries. It's not going to be easy. There will definitely be protectionists. Some protectionists are existing. So it could have been so difficult for them to just get that achieved. So the best way to achieve that, to allow those physical boundaries to exist, but yet they become irrelevant. So the best way to get that done was under the introduction of internet. And you understand, and the internet develops every day, like from 1G to 2G to 3G to 4G, and we are behold, we are facing the fifth generation internet. And apart from the internet helping to create a world without boundary, because we are talking about single world, which means nothing should limit the government, whosoever will lead this government, nothing should limit him from having access to, from coordinating, from reaching out the world. You understand me? And I made you to understand that one of the help is internet. But one will I say amazing anyway. One funny part of it is this: as they advance in research, they began to appreciate the fact that this internet cannot just help them to create a world without boundaries. That beyond that, they can equally use the help of this internet, IT, to achieve what we call Internet of Things. What is Internet of Things? So not what I called, what they called anyway, Internet of Things. What is Internet of Things all about? This simply means in a system, a world system, where everything is done by machine. You understand me? Everything is regulated through the help of machine. Your health system, if they want to, if they want to get the information about my health system, they don't need me to come to the hospital. All they have to do is to get my chip code, the implanted chip in my body, get the code in the system and get the data of my health, my banking data, everything about me. So it will no longer interest me to enjoy what someone in America is enjoying in terms of health system. Hence, I can still be assessed by the fact that I have the same implanted chip that someone in Western world equally have. You now understand at the magnitude at which they are thinking. But mind you, they have this understanding that if they want to achieve that, if they have to get a full operation of Internet of Things at work, that the 4G, which is the fourth generation internet, does not have the capacity to carry it out because it's a low grade. So they have to upgrade to the internet frequency that will enable the Internet of Things and other activities. Remember, the internet is to help them in political front, help them on economic front, cultural front, religious front, every front. So at that moment, the fourth generation internet must be upgraded to fifth generation, that is 5G, what most of us know as a 5G. So they have to upgrade it to enable the required service to be delivered. But one funny thing about the 5G and the challenges the 5G have been facing, which we are going to talk about extensively here. 5G has its own challenge, despite that it's going to be a kind of fastest internet dimension, which is going to help speed up the new world, the single world government. But 5G has its own challenge. It has a lot of medical challenge to human system because of its high radio frequency, which emits a lot of radiations to human cells, human health system. So people have issue. Objective researchers, objective scientists came up and said, no, this 5G, if we launch it, because of the high radiation, the high radio frequency, is not really going to help man, because it's going to affect human cells. It's going to affect the man DNA. It's going to affect a lot of things in human system. But these guys are saying, if we are weighing human system, understand the argument so that you understand there is nothing so scary about the whole thing. To me, that is my personal view. All you need is to just have knowledge of how they operate. If you have knowledge of how the whole thing is developing, you just sit back and laugh. So when they were confronted with the very fact that 5G, fifth generation network, is really endemic to human health because of its high radio frequency and the radiations, it produces. They now said no. Even though it's going to affect man, it's going to expose man to radiation, that they can produce a vaccine. That is their own argument, that they can help man and his organs, his body organs, by introducing a vaccine and the booster that will help man. And to them, the booster can only come through the vaccine. And remember, the vaccine will always come with a chip, a microchip, implanted into human system. Make no mistake about this. So that is their own argument. Now, a problem arose, because these guys have been successfully having world government who have been, encouraging them because they have money. The guys we are talking about here are not necessarily government. That is the mistake most of us make whenever you hear a new world order. They say, is this president, is this president, is this president? Come on. It's not basic. In fact, the presidents are just at the corridor of the drama. The guys who are pushing this are multi-billion rich guys. They own big multinational corporations. These are individuals who are holding a lot of multinational corporations. You see them in US. Please put attention to what I want to discuss now, so that you don't keep on fooling yourself looking at presidents, looking at prime ministers. These guys are just, these presidents you're seeing are just, they're employees. They are under these guys, except just very, very few of them who are not under the control of these guys. But the rest of them are just babies. They can't counter these guys. The guys who are projecting this is not presidents. When you talk about presidents are just people who come and go. We are talking about guys who own a very big companies. You look at the likes of Apple, you look at the likes of Microsoft, you look at the likes of there's this A&T. I think there's an American telecommunication company. Those in America will understand what I'm saying. A&T, something like that. And other big companies owner. These are guys who are, projecting this concept, because they own the money, not the president. The presidents are just public servants. They finish their tenure, they leave, they become wretched. They go back to the society, normal life. So, but what happens is that whichever president that comes in, they make sure they influence that president, especially whichever president that comes in White House. They make sure they regulate that president. They make sure they approach that president and say, look, if you want to have a successful government, listen and listen attentively. You must endorse our international dream. If you don't endorse it, believe you me, we will activate our media platforms against you, because they have media. In fact, they control 90% of what the world hear. If they want you to panic, they start raising panicking storylines in their big giant media platforms, and you start thinking they regulate you the way they want you to think. Can you not appreciate? The social media, they own it. They can trend whatever they want it to trend. And you start thinking the way they want you to think, because they understand the importance of controlling your mind. Mind control is essential to them. Very, very essential. Very, very important to them. So, successful presidents of United States. Remember, United States still governs the world. So successful presidents of United States have been just a boy in their hands. They've been using them to achieve their aims. They sit them down and said, look, we can destroy your government. But something happened. Please be careful. Listen to what I'm saying so you understand. Something happened sometime in 2016 or prior to that time. A man came out, as to contest as a president of United States. And surprisingly, the man is even one of the richest in United States. And they felt he cannot be controlled because he has money already. And because he's independent, he's rich, he's not even in need of extra money. He's already a mugu. So they felt that in as much as he's one of the richest like them, that they don't see anything to lure him with. And what did they do? They activated media campaign against him. But what no one can explain till tomorrow is how he emerged as the president of the United States, and that is Donald Trump. So Donald Trump emerged not through their support, because they used their media against him. Prior to the electionary time, they activated all forms of scandals, media blackout against him. But somehow, we can never explain. I can never explain, because all the indices from the Republican primaries to the final election shows that he was more of a comedian. In fact, they described him as a comedian who was not coming for governance. But it just somehow there was a divine overthrow to the system. Maybe God wanted to delay the speed at which they were moving, because Obama almost achieved all they needed. If you talk about Obama healthcare system, Obamacare, and the chip implanting, Obama did a very good work for them, and the legalization of gay marriage and a lot of things, So Obama really fast-tracked a lot of things, and his intention was to hand over to Clinton for Clinton to cement the project. By now, I don't think we would have been experiencing COVID-19, because the strategy of COVID-19 wouldn't have been there, because they would have achieved all they wanted. Yes, they would have achieved what all they wanted. COVID-19 is just a reaction to the damage they are experiencing currently. So if Clinton won, by now, everything would have been at least 80, if not 85% completed. So COVID-19 wouldn't have been there. There wouldn't have been need for COVID release of this pandemic and all the rest of them. It's as a result of the damage this present regime of United States is causing to them. So what happened was when Donald Trump emerged, contrary to their own expectation, contrary to their own calculation, they felt something must be done. And remember, Donald Trump made it explicitly that he's coming as a religious leader, that he's coming to entrench the Christian philosophy, Christian ideology in governance of the United States. He never hid it. He was so blunt in saying it because he needed none of their help, because he's a billionaire like them. You understand me? As rich as they are, so he is. So what they did, they understood the dimension he was going. First of all, he abrogated the gay marriage and stopped the flying of rainbow color in all American embassies all over the world, including the lightning of Washington, D.C. with rainbow color. For those of us who understand, rainbow is their color, no doubt about it. Rainbow is their color. So earlier before now, there is always a day. Obama's government recognized a day at which all U.S. embassies all over the world, there will be lightning of rainbow color in support of gay rights. In support of gay rights. So Trump came, he abrogated those stuff and said, no, you look, so they don't light any rainbow foreign missions, neither in White House. So they felt, man, that this guy is going to damage a lot of things. And coupled to the fact that he's an arrogant in quote, that he's wealthy, so he does not need to be enticed with money. As a casino owner, as a hotelier, hospitality, and other investments, he's really rich, thinkly, fuckingly rich. So they felt the best thing they have to do, because he has stopped the lightning of rainbow color, he brought back praying in schools and in Oval Office, which Obama stopped the pulpits in the United States from praying. He stopped prayers in Washington, D.C., in White House. So he came, he brought all those things back. And remember, Mike Pence, who happens to be his vice, is a pastor. And he started giving the clergymen voice, the American pastor's voice back. That their project is going to die and they need to do something. And mind you, Trump walked away from the constitution, away from any idea to bring the world together. He started the implementation of protectionist policies. Everything that has to do with how to bring the world, how to create a bandless war, he discouraged that. He never wanted it. And another damage he made is that, like I told you, some of you don't really understand how this play. These guys, you might find them in China, you might find them in the United States, you might find them in Africa, you might find them in Asia. They are not country affiliated like most of us. It's not country of origin that unite them together. What unites them together is the single fact that they have a master whose bidding must be entrenched in the war system. So whether you see any of them in China of being Chinese citizen, and you see another one in US, they don't care of their countries of origin. What unites them together is that fraternization, that fraternity, that order they must respect. You understand me? So what then happens is this. Another damage Trump did. Trump now came up and said, no, you see G5 network, new generation network. He understood that, that Chinese Iowa, I don't know, that is the way I pronounce it. I don't know if I got it right or not. The Chinese Iowa is a Chinese telecommunication giant, very, very massive. It's a very big telecommunication. Now, Trump came up and understood that there is something shocking happening. And unfortunate, even the American government before Trump tolerated that, overlooked her eyes and see that thing happening. What is that thing? That the Chinese Iowa that was at the forefront of G5 network installation or introduction was collecting people's data, was hashing people's data all over the world. And American government of that, they knew about it. They never did anything about that. Because they never did anything about that, the rest of them in Europe equally allowed Iowa to Hoa, I think Chinese, sorry, don't mind my pronunciation. Anyway, so a lot of countries in Europe, because the government before Trump tolerated it, so they felt no contrast, even in Canada and other. So when Trump came, he looked into the business of the Chinese telecommunication company and discovered that a lot of people of this world, their data, which means a time is coming that as I speak, my data is already, and I can be restricted. In so doing, the right of the people, the freedom of the people is already withdrew from them. Remember, you need a dictator to rule the entire world. And how you achieve that is to make sure you program a system that brings in everybody forcefully into a system. So when Trump discovered that, he felt so bad. And do you know what he did? He put a lot of attention on the Chinese Iowa and severely punished them for that. In fact, one of their CEO, she is still battling, I think, a litigation in Canada till today. Or the last time I checked, let me be accurate. So he dealt with them and put pressure to European countries not to allow their G5 contract to be handled by this Chinese company. You understand? Good. So he was fighting from all sides. It was a kind of vicious circle fight. Fighting, damaging things for this guy from all angles. So what they did was, they said they have to stop him. They have to stop him. And if they don't stop him, a lot of things will happen. This also, let me add this also. You know, there are world leaders that have not really been helpful to these guys. These guys equally feel bad with them, just the way they feel bad over Trump. But what happens in the case of this remaining, they believe that if they have the United States for themselves, the rest of these two will be easily over. So these remaining two world leaders are Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel. You know, Benjamin Netanyahu is produced by a Zionist party. He's a Zionist, so he's a religious leader also, like Trump, who is a Christian president, so to say. So in Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu is a religious leader. So they are not equally happy with him. But they feel that if they have their own man in the United States, they can, you know, frustrate his government in Israel, and another party will come up and take over. So then, another president they are not happy with is Putin of Russia, because of his rights and all the rest of them. And they are not happy with him also. So they feel if they equally have own, they can still, put pressure on possible sponsor a coup. You understand me? So when Trump came, Trump started normalizing relationship with these guys. There was a kind of tripod alliance between US, between Russia, between Israel, not to allow these guys to have their way. So they felt frustrated. So what they did was, in Israel, they investigation on Benjamin Netanyahu. Um, they instigated a trial to remove him by all means. Started media campaign because they own media, so they used media in Israel to campaign extensively against him, trying to tarnish his image, discourage voters from him. So on Putin, they equally try, but it's not easy because they cannot achieve that without having their guy in the US, which they failed to have. So what happened in Trump case? They first of all, they now resolved to remove him. That was their final decision. So not to even allow him to complete the first year or second year. So the first thing they came up with Mueller report. And the Mueller, you remember the unpopular Mueller report that there was a collaboration, Trump and Putin. So that Mueller report failed. They started up immediately, that one failed. They started up the Helinsky's indictment in the Congress. You remember the popular collaboration between Ukrainian president and Trump. Trump was trying to influence the Ukrainian president to have his way against the of United States. Remember, all these things were done by the Democrats. And remember the popular Democrats produced Obama. And remember the popular Obama that wrecked the world, that put the world in a mess, that brought the anti-God policy. So make no mistake about that. So when they now came up with the second one, which is Ukraine, and it never succeeded because, yes, Trump was impeached by the lower house, but the Senate, acquitted him. So they now felt that in as much as American Senate is controlled by the Republicans, that they won't succeed. That they won't succeed. Do you know what they did? They came up with a very, very satanic idea, I must tell you. And that is where we are today. I hope I've not spent much of my time anyway. Let me see that. Oh, we have spent over 1 hour, 3 minutes. But let's see if we can round up as much as possible we can. Anyway, most of us we are observing an isolation time, so I'm speak. Most of us are still at home, except some of us on essential services. So what they now did when they now see that there is no, oh, so sorry, sorry, I had a network interruption anyway, but we must go fast and fast as we can to round up. So when they now discovered that the possibility of them removing this guy is not there, that it looks is not possible for them, they now have to hash a more evil concept. More evil concept. And have you asked yourself this question? This is a question I asked someone. Have you asked yourself this question? Why is it that CIA and other best international intelligence agencies did not intercept the release of COVID-19 in Wuhan? I repeat, this is a question we have to ask ourselves. And when we ask ourselves this question, I will give you the answer just directly. There's no ambiguity on it. You know, earlier before now, we always hear CIA warning that be careful, so place, so thing is going to happen, avoid it, and all this. Why is it that CIA could not intercept the outbreak of COVID-19 in Wuhan? Why is it that Mossad could not? I think it should be an objective, should be a critical question, an ideal one to ask. Why is it none of the best international intelligence agencies did not intercept it? The answer is just as simple as the corner. The Democrats distracted the world, distracted the American intelligence agencies with Trump's trial. You know, with the peak of the Trump trial over Russia and all this, the Democrats distracted attention of a lot of American agencies because it was like going to survive it. And everybody was like focusing. Guys, we are busy unleashing a world. And Mossad on her own was equally distracted with Ben. You can see how these guys, how coordinated they are. So when you see in the Bible, when you see Jesus talking about that the sons of this world are wiser than the sons of, and how smart they are. They think smart, they create a false attention for you, you start chasing shadow, and they start hitting the real target. Because the world was just focused on, can Trump survive this? Hey, Congress is about to vote. Oh. Hey, Congress, is he surviving? Hey, they have voted him out. Hey, what would the senators do? Creating mini dramas. The Democrats stage managing the world. In Igbo language, as na banyere ụwa film, ụwa ekiri film, and nothing was happening. So you understand, they distracted the world, deceptively distracted the world, and their boys somewhere in Wuhan, And of course, the communist government of China is a simple question. Ask yourself, why did it happen in Wuhan? Why Wuhan? Why not Beijing? Why not other places? If it happened in Wuhan, why didn't it enter to Beijing? Ask. Simple question to ask. To tell you the whole thing was a kind of, it's a conspiracy. It's just so funny. Oh, you get firefighters around, nobody is seeing them, and you say somebody in the house, and somebody put fire on the house. All of a sudden, the firefighters quench it. Shh! Why the fire has already entered the other compound, which is the key target. That is exactly what happened. We are around, stationed, without nobody seeing them. Then the target is not the building you're going to light, rather the next building. Immediately you light it and it entered to the next building, which is the main target. You ask the firefighters, come and quench this one. They came and quenched the non-target building. Shh! That's exactly what happened in China. Immediately it entered the key target, which is United States. I'm going to explain also. The one in Wuhan was quenched. So what happened when this thing, they set up, because the target is to remove Trump by all means. We keep saying it. We keep saying it. The conspiracy is geared at Trump, because the 4 years he have already ruled is more damaging to them, that they can never tolerate another 4 years from him. They don't mind closing the world than to tolerate another 4 years from Trump. To them, is really damage. It's really damaging to them. They cannot imagine that shock of another 4 years from Trump. They understand that their project will die, because Trump is not going to, Trump is not going to, is no longer interested. If he's elected, he's no longer interested to vie for another election. So they are doing everything to stop him, because he will hit them from the edge. He will crush the serpent from his head. And they don't want that. So let's move quickly. Very, very important. Let's move quickly. Then we come on. So immediately enter to, remember the concept, the whole drama is this. If it enters to United States, then they will tell United States, okay, get this vaccine. Remember. And their plan is that if the American people start taking the vaccine, then a lot of American people will be contaminated. A lot of American people will contract the virus. But guess what? They lost big. Because these guys thrive on fear. They understand the tools of fear in achieving their aim. They know how to raise fear. When there is anxiety, the people will not. It's just normal. It's natural. If I say, hey, a thief has come, you that heard that will now be asking, how are you going to be saved? You seek for solution. I cannot tell you, oh, enter my house. Even when I want to hurt you, you will not even be thinking whether I will hurt you or not. You will just run into the house. Then I get you finished. So that is exactly what they did. They raise a concern, they raise fear in the world, in the minds of billions of people occupying the earth. So their intention is that immediately this thing comes to America, the American people will ask, how are we going to be saved? Trump will be panicking. Oh, how am I going to save American people I love? Then they expected Trump at that level of desperation to accept anything they offer to him. And what is that? They will now offer the real vaccine, which is the real deal. which is where the coronavirus is implanted. But they got shocked when the incident landed in America, and they suggested to Trump that Trump should allow all Americans to undergo testing. Remember, that was the first thing they suggested. You know what they wanted to do? If Trump had allowed that all American people should be tested, all they are going to do, they will now say to the American people that over 95% of American population tested positive. You know what? Is the worst alarmist thing to hear, because they are going to rig the test result in a way that Trump cannot sleep. Either he dies of heart attack or he resigns. So when they suggested that, Trump said no, people cannot be tested except they experience the symptoms. He knocked out their silly idea. And another thing he did, he first of all told the American people, I said, let us have a national day of prayer. A Sunday was mapped out, and the American people prayed in unison. And, yet they were still lobbying to have their vaccine administered on the American people. Trump said no. And he set up a committee. And the committee came up with more active solution, which is the chloroquine and which other one? Drug. Against the vaccine. Remember, chloroquine is not a vaccine. And the other drug is not equally a vaccine. So Trump came up with a solution contrary to their own evil stock. And they get highly worried because they wanted to be in control, take over American health system, then get the people destroyed, invariably get the people to lose hope on the regime of Donald Trump. But that never happened. So at this moment, they are feeling disappointed. They are feeling worried because you can see how America is doing it. Forget what you hear on their media. Their media, especially CNN, is evil. They are just raising fears, giving a false narrative, a false report, because they want the people to believe that Trump is not capable to be returned, so that they continue with the solidification of their evil. You cannot understand how it works. So they have lost the ground. They have lost the game, and of course, they have lost the war. They will lose the battle. It's as simple as that. So if you follow up, you now ask yourself a question. Why is it that all the aid supplies coming out from China, why were they all contaminated? It's a simple question. For what purpose? Does it mean the Chinese government never tested, never screened those materials? Why would people export a contaminated items? What was the intention? Then you will understand the game of these guys. You will understand how they do their things. You will understand the evil at which they are. So what are we trying to say here? Because we have really spent a reasonable number of time. What we're saying here is that we are not surprised of what they are doing, no doubt about. Because if if you understand Christian eschatology, if you understand the conspiracy theories of these guys, if you understand socio-political developments, you will not fear. You will not worry. And remember, for your information, these guys are working faster than the calendar of the Most High. That is that is the shocking part of the whole development, because the Christian eschatology made us to understand that the third temple must be built before the president, I don't want to use the Christian term on that, but before the president that will govern the entire world will march, the third temple must be built. Is the third temple built? No. Never built yet. So why are they desperate? They are desperate because they feel that the present international system, vis-a-vis the government of Donald Trump and that of Putin and Netanyahu, are going to draw the calendar more backward for them. It's a kind of being impatient. You understand? So, and they are worried. Not because this is the time. This is not actually the time. The third temple has not been built. We are just having US. Stephen Dunn said he can't hear me again. I don't know if anyone is also experiencing that. Is anyone not hearing me also? Because Stephen Davis said he can't hear me. Is anyone else experiencing that? Please confirm, because we're almost rounding up anyway. Hello, viewers. Stephen Dunn said, please, what is happening? I can't hear you. I can't hear you anymore. So, okay. Please confirm if you can hear. Francis Ayora, please confirm. I want to know if I'm still coming out or not. So that. Okay. So we are rounding up. Thank you, Atugo. Okay, thank you, Emeka Chukwu. So you understand what good. You understand what is happening. So they feel that these guys are going to destroy a lot of things. They are doing these things not because the calendar says this is their time, but because they are. Let me not tell you this. These guys fear a lot. They fear a lot. They are the most people who feel unsafe. You understand me? They are the most people who feel unsafe. They are jittering because American government is no longer on their fingertips. They are jittering because they feel the system has slipped off their control. They are jittering because they understand that the next 4 years of American regime is going to be devastating to them. So, brethren, keep safe. Keep safe, because if they don't review what they are doing, they are going to lose big. How? If they linger this problem longer than it, Donald Trump have the constitutional right to declare state of emergency in the entire United States, and the election of November will not hold, and he will remain there as the president. Guess what? They will have a big, big loss. Big, big loss, and that will be so devastating to their plan. So I want to thank you. So I want to thank you for being with us. I want to thank you for your time. And I say, may Most High bless you, keep you safe, keep you alert, and above all, keep you knowledgeable at this time, because you will survive. But with foolishness, you will slip off. From here, I want to say bye and enjoy your day.
Chine chine